you're looking at like maybe E60. E59 to E58, E60, which is absolutely Alright, what's going on, everybody? So today I am still currently on E85. I mentioned that I was wanting to eventually switch back over from E85 back to 93. I might have changed my mind on that, and I'll explain that here in a second and the reason behind that. But I went to a new E85 gas station that I've never been to before. I've already topped off my 2 5-gallon gas jugs. I know it should be pretty decent quality, and I should have tested it before I put it in the tanks or the gas jugs, but I've heard it was pretty good, but I just want to clarify. So I'm gonna test this, and I'll show you guys again if you guys haven't caught my last video how to test the 85 if you're not quite sure of the consistency of it and the quality of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I pour it from there into this. All right, so how I go about this, the gas jugs, which are right there, I pour a little bit of that, try to do without spilling, but somehow I always end up spilling more than I want to. Into this, just a little bit, I put water up to that line right there. You can see that, I fill up to water, and then I pour as carefully as possible. The tube is inside of here, into here, without spilling, and then shake it up, wait for a little bit, and then it'll tell you if it's E85, E75, it tells you the quality of it. So just to clarify that I did pick up good quality E85. All right, so I don't know how good you can see that, but that's about as close as I can get water up to that line, almost exactly up to that line. So now I'm gonna take this E and try to pour just a little bit into this cup here, and then try not to spill, obviously, as I pour it in here. All right, so I know there's better, more efficient ways to pour from here into here using a funnel, but I don't have that, so I'm gonna make do with what I have, and this should be pretty entertaining. All right, so got it up to that line right there, pretty good, you can see that, and then just shake it up and wait a little bit and we'll find out. Okay, so I did this test with the E85 twice because I thought I messed up on it because it was so low. So let me show you in the daylight what it tested at. Now, the first time I tested the E, I went to a different gas station. It tested at right around E9 or E88. It was like super high. It was higher than it should have been. This one, I'll let you look at that. You're looking at like maybe E60. E59 to E58, E60, which is absolutely shit. So this is what you should do. So if you get a bad batch E like this, obviously you just can't go dump this in a yard and dump it out and go get a fresh batch of E at like a good gas station. I don't recommend that, so don't do that. So what you could do is go on the street corner and have a sign saying that you got some fresh E85 and pawn it off to whoever. Probably not a good idea either. What you should do is, if you do go to a gas station you haven't been to before, number one, test the E even before you put it in your gas jugs. So not even in the car. Test it obviously before you put it in the car, but if you have gas jugs, test it before you throw it in the gas jugs. I should have done that, but this one is a little bit closer, so I thought I could save myself a trip. So this is the third E85 gas station I've gone to, and this one I've heard it was good. So apparently this is just a really bad batch E85. You're looking at, I don't even know what, okay, so if you have a bad batch, and I got like 10 gallons of this stuff, don't go throwing this stuff in your tank. It's not gonna be good. You're just asking for a misfire on your car. So situations like this, I have essentially a full tank of E85. So I'm gonna go to the E85 gas station. I know that I did the test on last week and I tested it like E88. I'm gonna top my tank off with that. Then as each day progresses and I burn more and more, slowly pour a small amount of this in your gas tank. And then this gas jug is empty. Continue to mix it with the good high quality E85. So especially since that place is testing it like E88, I blend it in with the shit stuff that claims that it's E85. Then I'll probably be between E80 to E85, which is still a good quality E85, but don't just throw that in your gas tank. Slowly blend it in your good quality stuff. If you have a good quality E85 in your tank, or blend it with a place that you know that is testing as high or higher than E85. Honestly, I'm mad at myself for not testing the E before I put it in the tanks. But I've heard from multiple people that this gas station, it was always tested between E85 and E90, just like the place I go to now. But you know, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. After I eventually go through all this E, I'll test it before I throw it in the jugs or the car, obviously, and just to clarify, make sure that it is indeed testing at least E80. Between E80 to E90 is where generally you want to be. Obviously, the higher, the better. Not that that wasn't even like E60, that was like maybe E58. That was a really, really, really terrible batch of E85. So for anybody that is in the Fort Worth area that's watching this, that was at the racetrack gas station on Golden Triangle. So has anybody that's watching this, if you're in the area, have you experienced a bad batch of E85 at that place? I'd be curious, because E85 for me on this car is new to me. I'm not new to E85, but I'm new running it in this area and on this car. So far I found one good quality E85 gas station. That's where I'm going right now. So up until I tested the E85, this video was going to be me talking about reasons why I'm now deciding on not initially switching back over to 93. Now that I got a bad batch of this, does that change my mind? Not really, because the other gas station isn't that far away from me. It's a difference of like maybe 10 minutes away from my house than the place that had the bad batch. But I was originally wanting to do the data logs on the E85, and then once I get the good data logs and I get the final okay back from Palm Beach saying that the tune is good, switch back to 93 until springtime, and then eventually go back over to E85 once springtime comes back around again. But the price of this E85 that I got, I only paid $2.17 a gallon. 93 here in Texas is still pretty cheap compared to other places in the country. The 93 is about $3.27, so it's over, no, $3.37, so it's over $1 cheaper per gallon for the E85, which if it's a good batch E85, that's well over 100 octane compared to the 93 octane. So if the E85 gas station isn't convenient for you to go to, and or if you drive, if the car is a daily driver and you drive a long distance to work every day, it might be more convenient for you to switch back to 93 from E85. For myself, my commute to work is like 8 minutes, 10 with traffic and stoplights. It's really not that far. And then picking up the kids a few times a week. After work, I burn maybe a half a tank of gas. And on top of that, my gas mileage really hasn't taken a dip that much compared to the 93. Okay, so I just checked my current average. I'm averaging 17.8, so it's gone down a little bit, but going from 19 miles per gallon to 17.8 miles per gallon. So because of that, gas mileage really hasn't taken that much of a dip. So the price of the E85, which is significantly cheaper than the 93 pump gas, hasn't really gone down that much So I was like, well, I might as well just stay on the 85. So it doesn't make sense to go back and forth from 93 to 85, because the gas station for myself that has a good quality 85, less than a half hour away from me. I got the 5-gallon gas jugs, so it's worth it for me to stay on the 85. Okay, so I'm here at the good gas station that I've got my E from, and this is the difference. I don't know if you can see that, the line there. You're looking at, see if you can focus. Sorry if you can't focus, but the line to the E, you're just below 90. So this stuff is like testing at like E88, E89. So significantly better than the place that I just filled up 10 gallons of E60. Really shitty 85. So this is why obviously you should test the 85 before you throw it in your car. Okay, so I just topped off my tank again with the good stuff. You saw that it tested at like E89, E88. That's consistently again where it tested pretty high. And I just spoke with that gentleman right there. He told me that he has never tested at this gas station. He's been coming here for years, and it's always tested no lower than E82. So this gas station so far has been tried and true. As I said before, I just want to reiterate this: if you end up going to other E85 stations and you're not sure what the quality is, even if you're told it's good, it tests high, I always recommend to test it, because it could always test low and you might get a bad batch 85 and not know it until it's too late. I would recommend, if you end up getting a bad batch and you can't dispose of it, put a couple gallons of it or so in a good tank of E like what I have now. So just slowly add more and more to it as you burn through the E that you have, and then blend that with, I got the full tank of the good stuff here that just tested at E89. Kind of blend it together so you still get the high quality, or the highest quality 85 possible, until all that is gone. And then you got nothing to worry about. And just stay consistent with testing if you're not quite sure on the quality of the E85. All right, so I want to just let you guys know before I close this out, next week is the LMR Cruise-In, their free show event at Texas Motor Speedway. They put it on every year. I've gone every year that I've been here. Last year they had like 3,000 or 4,000 cars there. It was huge. This year they're doing drag racing at Texas Motorplex on Friday night, and then the LMR show obviously is on Saturday. They're doing you can go on the road course, and also you could go around the NASCAR track also as well. I will be there, so if anybody that is in the area that wants to link up, hit me up, come by and say hi. But on that note, I'm going to close this out. If you guys are not subscribed, please do me a favor, hit subscribe. I'll put a link in the description for anybody that wants to pick up a Trucker Society shirt. It's a great way to support myself and the channel. You guys have a good one. See you in the next video. See ya. Bye.